was strictly based on results, and of course the Pakistani speech was amazing. But if it was based on a process, then that Indonesian brother had a higher mark. That's the point of certainty. To be certain on your path. To strive on your path. Accept your path. If that means that you struggle to wear hijab, that's your struggle. You don't need to, deflate yourself because others have hijab locked down from the age of 9. If your struggle is that one day I want to go for Hajj, inshallah, and you're scrounging and you're rolling pennies and you're trying to get to the point where I just want to get to Hajj, and the guy beside you has been to 5 Hajjs, mashallah. That's your struggle. The dua is min hadha, from where I am I want to move forward. Not from where you are, not from where he is, not from where she is. But sometimes we get so deflated so quickly, it becomes almost as if, this disease of doubt is waiting to come about. And these are all satanic elements. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Now, how do we avoid this idea that sometimes, we go through moments where we are, la ilaha illallah, no problem. Then we think, wait a second, I don't know if this works or not. There are moments where Subhana Rabbil A'la wa bihamdi, I'm in sujood, no problem. The next day we're like, I don't know if namaz or salat makes sense to me. And the flipping and the flopping and the fluctuation of the heart exists. Where sometimes we're, mashallah, sky high, the nights of Qadr, the day of Ashura, at Hajj, in Karbala, in Mashhad, we're flying high, mashallah. We come back here, we come crashing down. The next day after Ramadan ends, we come crashing down. And this teeter-totter, this seesaw, up and down, that's killing our youth. It's tiring our youth. Then why is it that for a good 10 days, I was up for namaz al-shab and then fajr, no problem. The next day, for some reason, I wake up and the sun has risen. How do I maintain that? Why the fluctuation? And the deen has a beautiful answer. And the answer is, I'll use the Quran from Surah Ali Imran, ayat number 8. It's a dua that I personally recite in my salat, in qunut, every single salat. A lot of you have it memorized. Let's go through this as we end our speech tonight to make sure that we understand this verse. It says this, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, رَبَّنَا لَا تُغْزِغْ قُلُوبَنَا بَعْدَ إِذْ هَدَيْتَنَا وَهَبْ لَنَا مِن لَدُنْكَ رَحْمَةً إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ الْوَهَّابُ. Very famous verse, right? Very famous dua. Let's break this down to see that one of the gifts of the Quran to fight this idea of doubt and to ensure that I don't teeter and totter and flip and flop is from this Quran itself. Surah Ali Imran, verse number 8. O our Lord, do not allow zigh to enter our heart. And I'll explain what zigh is in a moment. Ba'da idha hadaytana, after you've already guided us. So number one, it's possible for us to steer off the path when we've already been guided. Which means that there has to be a constant revisiting of our iman and our faith. We're not letting our guard down, we're not getting super confident, we're not getting complacent, we're not getting arrogant. We're not telling ourselves that I'm sure, mashallah, I'm jannati and heavenly. No. It's possible that you can be misguided. Right? Many people in history have been misguided after they've been properly guided. Ba'ada idha hadaytana. وَهَبْ لَنَا مِن لَدُنْكَ رَحْمَةً, gift us from your mercy. I'll explain this in a moment as well. إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ الْوَهَّابُ. You are the ultimate giver. You are the bestower. You are a wahhab. Let's break this down and get the key words, inshallah, as we end our speech. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. First of all, رَبَّنَا لَا تُزِغْ. What does zigh mean? In the books of Lughat, one of the best examples that I have seen describing what zigh is using the example of a grave digger. A grave digger. A grave digger has one job. Okay? Dig the grave deep enough, make sure it's a straight rectangle with straight sides, correct? They say that zagh means that when the grave digger, as he's digging the grave and ensuring that all sides of the grave are straight lines, and when he's done, he notices that while one line of the grave is straight, the other side is curved a little bit. So it looks like a C almost. That curving, without his knowledge, is called zagh in Arabic. Meaning he's digging, thinking that he's going straight, doing everything in his power to keep it straight. When he's done, he looks at it, and in fact, it was curved. Meaning that what? He steered off the straight line without even having knowledge of that, what he was doing. He thought that, mashallah, I have this grave down packed. He looks at it, one side is beautiful, the next side is curved. That curving, without intent or without knowledge, is called zagh. Oh Allah, Rabbana la tuzigh qulubana. Don't allow that bending or that slight steering off the path without my knowledge inside of our hearts. Ba'da idha hadaytana. After you've already guided us. Meaning what? You've shown the path, you told me where to go, avoid this, do this. I don't want to steer off the path. I have no intention of steering off the path. But sometimes I actually believe that I'm going right, but in reality I'm steering off to the left or to the right. It's a very dangerous state to be in. It's one thing where you're conscious about what you're doing. I know it's haram, I'm doing it, let's say tawbah later. That's one thing. But here is a person who is what? Adamant about the fact that I don't want to leave this path, but somehow they steer without knowing it. That dangerous state is what we're trying to prevent in this dua of Surah Al Imran. After you've already guided us. And then the next part. وَهَبْ لَنَا مِن لَدُنْكَ رَحْمَةً. Hab lana. Lana, of course, is for us. Hab comes from hiba. Hiba means gift in Arabic. But the most beautiful portion of this ayat is ladunka. That word is very important to understand. And we'll do my best, inshallah, to make all of you understand, make myself understand what ladunka means. And what is it? It's not just rahma, it's waladunka rahma. And the example I'll give you is this. There are things inside of your home that either are lying around on your counters in your kitchen or your coffee tables, or sometimes inside your kitchen drawers, or sometimes in your side table. A pen, perhaps, a fork and a spoon, perhaps, a marker, perhaps, a charger, perhaps. Random things. Then there are those things that are inside of your closet, inside of a box. That box has a box, that box has a box. That box has a green cloth. Inside that green cloth, something is wrapped that's very, very near and dear to you. It's not lying around easily accessible. It's gone through several levels of protection. Please follow me. This is as I end my speech. Okay? Perhaps gold. Perhaps something from the Dari of Aba Abdullah al-Husayn. Perhaps a special and precious gift from your mother, perhaps. Perhaps something that you don't want damaged, you don't want out in the open, you don't want it to be everywhere and anywhere. It's protected within 3 boxes, a green velvet cloth. It's stored away somewhere safe inside of your closet, let's say. That special nature of whatever that thing is inside of that box of box is called ladun in Arabic. If you were to ask me for a pen, you ask me for a pen. I give you my pen from my pocket. I would say, هَذَا مِنْ عِنْدِي. This is from me. If you ask me for that special thing in my box of box, let's say I tell you the story about how I was able to get the flag, let's say, of Abul Fazl Abbas from his Dari in Karbala. Can you show it to me? Sure, I can. So I go inside the box, and I get out this beautiful flag. And you ask me, can I have a little bit of it? Sure, you can. So I give you that. I wouldn't say هَذَا مِنْ عِنْدِي. I say هَذَا مِنْ لَدُنِّي. This is from me, but it's a special thing I'm giving you. Only for you. It's not meant for everybody else. If any of you have done any research on theology, aqaid, kalam in Islam, and you've come across the bahath on imamah, you know that inside the discussion on imamat, there's one discussion called the criteria of an imam. What criteria or what sifat or what qualities the imam has to have. One, of course, is ismat, infallibility. Another is shuja'at, for example, courage. One is also ilm, but not any ilm. Ilm ladunni, it's called. The special ilm of the heavens and the earth that only the imam possesses. Meaning that box within a box within a box wrapped in a green velvet cloth, inside of that is that ilm. Not for everybody, not to be understood by everybody either. So what are we asking Allah? Let's go from the beginning. رَبَّنَا لَا تُزِغْ قُلُوبَنَا بَعْدَ إِذْ هَدَيْتَنَا وَهَبْ لَنَا مِنْ لَدُنْكَ رَحْمَةً. You have mercy, Allah. You have mercy everywhere. You're merciful to the kuffar as well. You give mercy to the mushrikeen as well. You give mercy to the mu'mineen as well. I don't want that mercy. I want min ladunka rahma. I want that mercy that's within the box of your box of your box of your green cloth that you only have for certain servants. That's the mercy I want. Not that mercy you give everybody. That is there, it always will be there, alhamdulillah. I want that mercy from the box of your box, which is ladunka rahma. For what? To provide me shelter and protection from zigh inside of my heart. We don't commit sin, guys, out of the enmity of Allah. Nobody here is a dushman or enemy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not like we wake up and say, yes, I'm going to hurt that God of mine. And I'm going to make sure I commit every sin possible. No, we don't do that. The regret, the remorse, the feeling we have after that sin shows us that I didn't mean to do that. When our fifth Imam says that half of tawbah is remorse. Half of tawbah is regret and remorse. It tells us there's no enmity involved. Sometimes, shaitan gets the better of us. Sometimes we get the better of ourselves. Sometimes our nafs controls us. Whatever the case may be, we're steering off the path. We don't want to steer off the path. And to pull us back on, it's not any mercy. It's min ladunka rahmah. It's that khas, special mercy from Allah, that maybe if I'm worthy of it, He can give it to me. This up and down, up and down, up and down seesaw of iman that I have, the only thing that might stop me from going low to high, is that mercy that's ladunka rahmah. From your special stash, I want that mercy. Innaka antal wahhab. There's ta'keed upon ta'keed in this. Innaka antal wahhab. Wahhab is one who gives and gives and gives and gives. How they're called Wahhabis is beyond me. But khair, they give. Allah is Wahhab. So in this battle against doubt and a battle for us to inject ourselves with certainty, there are prescriptions Allah has left behind for us. There are avenues Allah has left behind for us. There are du'as Allah has left behind. It's a matter of us understanding those du'as and with the simplest and the softest of hearts, begging Allah, I can't do this without you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I want to be certain. I don't want to be a flag in the wind that blows wherever the wind takes it. That has no, backbone of itself. If the wind goes right, the flag goes right. The wind goes left, the flag goes left. I want to be that mountain. The ground can shake, the wind can pick up, the mountain doesn't move from where it is. But that requires min ladunka rahmah. That's why of all the greatest people in this world, the Holy Prophet, who was the most tested in this world, even he himself says, Ya ilahi la takilni illa nafsi tarafata aynin abada. Please Allah, don't leave me at the disposal of myself for a blink of an eye. I can't do it without you. I don't want to fall into these traps of this dunya that exists today. I don't want to go on that path that everyone travels on. I want to be a traveler on the path less traveled. I want to be the exception to today's norm. But I can't do that without you. And that certainty is needed for us to do what? To be able to establish that deen for us today and prepare ourselves for the arrival of our Imam, inshallah. We ask you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to give us that tawfiq, inshallah, to become those who are the ahli yaqeen, inshallah. We ask you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to forgive our sins and those of our parents, inshallah. We ask you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the hearts of our youth, that you convert the pleasure of sin to the pleasure of worship, inshallah. We ask you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is so much injustice and tyranny and bloodshed in Yemen and Bahrain, in Iraq and Syria, Afghanistan and Pakistan, in Burma, wherever you see innocent lives being killed, Muslims or non-Muslims, we ask you, Allah, to please weaken the hands of the enemies of humanity, inshallah, and strengthen the mustaza'afin, those shabab and javan and young youth who are out there on the front lines fighting for freedom and fighting for haqq. We ask you, Allah, empower them and strengthen them, inshallah. And finally, Allah, we ask you that whatever is discussed today, our efforts are always one to be the ashab and the companions of the Imam when he comes. Allow us to witness his zuhur in our lifetime, inshallah, and be beside him when he comes. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'll take 5 minutes for questions if there are any on this topic, please. Yes, sister. Put sorry there. That's a lengthy discussion. The sister asked how Muslims place their culture ahead of the Islamic culture. It's a great question. It's I think one of the problems that are universal across many communities. One thing I really enjoyed last year coming to IEC were the different cultures that exist here, alhamdulillah, IEC. And I've been to a few centers like this where, mashallah, there is a beautiful array of different cultures here. I think it's beautiful to see. I think initially, sister, we have to first establish that is there even an Islamic culture to begin with? We inject our own culture because we believe Islam lacks its own culture. When in reality, Islam, of course, is a lifestyle, a way of life, an everyday system. Now, I am not an individual who will sit here and tell you that the culture of the country that you reside in or that you're coming from is all wrong. I don't think that's what she also has in mind. But there are elements in our culture sometimes that overpowers the deen, or God forbid, goes against the deen. And naturally, and I think everybody here acknowledges that that's, of course, is incorrect. There are aspects within our culture, be it the Iranian culture or Pakistani culture or Iraqi or Arab culture or the American culture, that may enhance our deen. It's possible. And those cultural items, of course, should be adopted, provided it's used to enhance our deen. But then, of course, there are those cultural things that we do that might be very common inside of our households, inside of our families, back home in our communities, that really move us away from the deen. Those should be, of course, avoided and minimized, and ensured that, of course, we always adopt the Islamic culture above our own culture, inshallah. Thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.